Hamas releases 17 more hostages to the Red Cross in exchange for 39 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails.
Russia claims to have shot down 2 missiles over the Sea of Azov and more than 20 drones in an attack by Ukraine targeting several regions.
France wins the junior version of the Eurovision Song Contest for the 2nd year in a row with Zoe Closier's song Heart. Hamas has released 17 more hostages to the Red Cross in exchange for 39 Palestinian prisoners. 13 of the hostages are Israelis and 9 of them are children. 3 are Thai nationals and 1 is Russian. Meanwhile, Israel's prison service said it had released the 39 Palestinians as part of the 4-day truce agreement between Israel and Hamas. International mediators led by the US, Qatar and Egypt are trying to extend the ceasefire, which Hamas later stated that it also wanted to do by releasing more hostages. The existing truce agrees to have 50 Israeli hostages released in exchange for 150 Palestinian prisoners. Meanwhile, at least 120 aid trucks crossed from Egypt to Gaza on Sunday, including 2 fuel trucks and 2 with gas for cooking, Egypt said. Israel's bombardment has driven 3/4 of the population from their homes and flattened many residential areas. Visiting Gaza on Saturday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel will continue until the end. Nothing will stop us. Hamas's armed wing, meanwhile, confirmed that 4 of its senior commanders had been killed. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli soldiers shot dead 6 Palestinians, 1 of them a minor, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Since the war began, 239 Palestinians have been killed in the West Bank. In Gaza, more than 13,300 Palestinians have been killed.
The Sea of Azov, connected to the Black Sea by a narrow strait. This is where Russia claims it shot down 2 Ukrainian surface-to-air missiles that had been adapted to hit land targets. It also says it thwarted a drone attack, shooting down more than 20 of them over Moscow and the regions of Bryansk, Smolensk and Tula. An air raid alert sounded in annexed Crimea in the south, and the Kerch Bridge was closed for a while. Officials said 1 person was injured in Tula when one of the intercepted drones crashed into an apartment building. During the night, Russia launched 9 kamikaze drones across Ukraine, 8 of which Kyiv says were shot down. This comes a day after it said the capital experienced the largest Russian drone attack since the start of the war. With winter weather settling in, both sides are looking to take ground that could be springboards for future advances.
Snowstorms have hit Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia and Moldova after Cyclone Bettina formed over the Black Sea. In Moldova, 2 people died in road accidents. And a red alert for bad weather remains in place in 4 eastern counties in neighbouring Romania, 2 of them on the Black Sea. Red weather alerts were also issued for 4 regions in northeastern Bulgaria due to both the snow and the high winds. And the centre and the west of the country were also hit by snowstorms. It was a similar story in Serbia, where roads became impassable in the west and high winds brought down trees and power lines. In Italy, 1 woman died after a tree brought down by the high winds fell on top of her as she was walking along the pavement in Rome. Over 300 trees and branches came down in the city and 6 people were injured. 1 tree fell onto a children's playground at midday on Saturday, but fortunately no one was hurt.
While air quality in Europe is improving, pollution levels are still too high. That's the warning issued by the European Environment Agency in a report published Friday. It points out that all 27 EU member states are failing to meet their own standards, let alone those set by the World Health Organization, and that it's threatening the health of Europeans.
There are of course many different air pollutants, but I picked the one that is most severe and most harmful, fine particles. And we have our latest estimations is that 253,000 deaths can be attributed to this pollutant. And these indeed could be prevented by right measures.
The number of deaths linked to fine particles fell by 41% between 2005 and 2021, but the Environment Agency says member states must continue their efforts. Nitrogen dioxide pollution was responsible for 52,000 deaths, and short-term exposure to ozone gas is responsible for 22,000 deaths in the EU. In cities, transport is the main source of pollution. And in some regions, domestic heating using solid fuels like coal or wood also affects air quality. All of these cumulative phenomena can cause or exacerbate illness.
In the most severe cases, it causes illnesses which lead quite quickly to death. Lung cancer, as an example. But it is also important to note, and our report is now first time looking more in detail into various diseases and what is the impact of air pollution to aggravate these diseases like asthma or chronic heart conditions. So it is the quality of life is in many ways is hampered by air pollution still today in Europe.
The European Environment Agency also says that climate change, in particular the increase of temperatures in cities, threatens air quality and as a result the health of all Europeans.
The amnesty deal that Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has proposed means that the question of independence for Catalonia is now central to Spanish politics. It would mean former Catalan regional president Carles Puigdemont, who is currently a fugitive from Spanish law and exiled in Brussels, could return. So what does the EU think? Well, it's told Spain it's an internal matter.
This is and remains an internal matter for Spain.
Thank you very much.
Más allá del debate en las instituciones y el recorrido que pueda tener en los tribunales, la pugna aquí entre españolistas e independentistas catalanes es conquistar la mente y los corazones de la opinión pública europea. De ello dependerán en gran medida sus futuras aspiraciones.
The EU might be clear on where it stands, but will that change, especially in the run-up to the European elections in June?
Hay una batalla por el relato, eso es así, y hay unas elecciones europeas a la vuelta de la esquina, ¿no? Por tanto, ¿el terreno de juego se va a mover hacia Bruselas? Muy probablemente sí, será así. ¿Eso va a tener algún efecto por parte de las instituciones europeas? Ninguno, absolutamente ninguno.
For the separatists, the priority is to put independence front and centre of European politics, even when there are more pressing issues for the EU to address.
The priorities of this president have been very clear, which is to put Catalonia once again at the forefront of the European agenda. And this has been one of our priorities, to make sure that our message is clear, which is that this is a political conflict. And now we begin the second part of our political negotiation, which is the fact that Catalans want to decide their own future.
But with the EU trying to stop the rise of the far right in Europe, debates over independence for Catalonia or Corsica or Flanders couldn't be less welcome. And within Spain, the centre-right People's Party and the far-right Vox Party angrily reject Catalan independence. The holiday season has begun in Berlin, and this year the main zoo is celebrating by turning itself into a Christmas garden. Visitors can walk along a 2-kilometre route illuminated by festive lights and music. The centrepiece, an illuminated castle that's more than 400 years old. And this year the zoo is showcasing a jungle theme. But you can get more out of this than simply hot chocolate and sweets. Studies have shown a wide range of benefits for people connecting to the natural world. And one environmental psychologist says it's proven to make people happier.
It helps you restore all the resources you need, like to process information, to make decisions, and positive effects on your mood. It makes you more calm and relaxing, in a joyful and positive mood.
Research has shown that nature helps people with everything from creativity to productivity. One study found that people who spend time outdoors in the evening are more productive the next day. And it doesn't even have to be real nature. Depictions of nature have been found to help people as well.
Schmetterling und Fuchs.
try to think of the value that nature has for us and to establish kind of a human-nature connection. And we tend to forget that we are strongly dependent and interdependent and a part of nature.
Such benefits can be particularly beneficial in the winter months when people tend to stay indoors for longer. And with climate change, some scientists say people getting out into the natural environments around them is more important than ever. France has won the junior version of the Eurovision Song Contest with Zoe Closure and her song Cœur or Heart. Spain finished in second place and Armenia was third. It was the 21st edition of the contest, and this year it was hosted in the Mediterranean city of Nice. This year there were 16 countries, and one of them, Estonia, was participating for the first time.
The trophy is for France. Zoe is the winner of the 21st Eurosong Contest for Junior.